Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be back to school period tips and life hacks that you need to know if you are going back to school. And of course everyone right now is going back to school because it's August, so most of you are either going back to school this month or next month in September. And so if you're watching this, you are probably someone who has periods and you need some tips on having a period at school and having periods when you go back to school. Because personally for me, I myself have been looking up a lot of these videos because I got my period during the pandemic in November 2020, and now going back to school, I'm terrified to have to deal with having a period at school. But I have come up with some tips and life hacks and just solutions to the problem of having a period at school, being so uncomfortable because you're literally gushing blood out of your body while you have to like sit at a desk all day and everything like that. And so with this video, I hope I'm able to help you feel more comfortable going back to school while having a period. Before we get into this video, please like this video and comment down below when you go back to school, like when your first day is and what grade you're going into. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more period videos, period related content. And yeah, I don't want to talk anymore. I want to give you guys some back to school period tips and life hacks that you need to know. So let's get into the video. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to buy a backpack with lots of compartments. And this is one that I feel like I've never heard anyone say before, but it is so important to buy a backpack with lots of compartments if you are someone who has a period for these reasons. One, you need a lot of places to fit your pads and your tampons in and just like your period supplies in general. And so making sure to buy a backpack with a lot of different compartments, like one big pouch for like a sweatshirt to tie around your waist, which we'll get to later, and then like a smaller pouch to put some tampons, and then like a square size pouch to put some pads. Just when you're buying a backpack for this upcoming school year, make sure that it has enough room for not only your books and like all your school supplies that you're going to need, but for your period supplies, because you're not going to want to have to go to your locker every single time you have to like change your pad or anything like that. It's good to just have it in your backpack, so make sure that your backpack is good enough to hold all of the period supplies that you will need, like pads, tampons, extra pairs of underwear, a sweatshirt, which as I said we'll get to later, chocolate, anything like that that you think you need to bring to school with you. Then make sure that your backpack has enough room for all of those items, because honestly I got a backpack that has so many different pouches. I'm really grateful for that because now I'll actually have a place to put like my pads when I have my period and I'm going to school. Now this next tip that I have for you guys kind of relates to what I was just talking about, but it is that when you are going back to school clothes shopping, make sure to buy a lot of dark colored bottoms rather than light colored bottoms, because I totally get it. Like when you're going back to school clothes shopping, you want to get like white jeans and cute little floral skirts and like light jean shorts and all of that, but you gotta be realistic and realize that you're probably gonna be really self-conscious and really scared that you're gonna stain all those cute like clothes when you go back to school and you're on your period. But if you get a lot of like dark wash denim shorts and dark jeans and like dark sweatpants and all of that stuff, or even like a dark skirt, that is probably the much smarter decision, because honestly for me, I never want to wear light clothes when I'm on my period. So make sure that the clothes that you are buying to wear like when you go back to school are clothes that you could realistically wear when you're on your period without feeling scared or stressed or embarrassed like if you leak, because if you leak even just a little on light clothing, it shows, but if you leak like more than a little on dark clothing, then it doesn't really show up. So just make sure to always go for dark clothing if you want to avoid the inevitable embarrassment that will come if you stain your clothes at school. So my next tip that I have for you guys, if any of you guys watching this out there have lockers, is to always have a period kit in your locker. Because let's say you get your period and you didn't pack anything in your backpack and it just like comes at school, right? If you have a permanent period kit in your locker and it's like not permanent in your backpack, like you only put a period kit in your backpack when you're actually on your period, but like just having a period kit in your locker at all times if you get your period at school and you don't just go to school with a period, that means you will always be prepared no matter what happens with your period at school. I actually made a whole video on what to include in a period kit, so I'm not gonna like say it all again right now, but if you guys want to go check out that period kit video that I made, you can go check that out right here. But yeah, just make sure to always have a period kit in your locker so that you're prepared if your period just comes at school and you don't actually go to school with your period. And that way like you won't be stressed because you didn't have time to get pads from home like to bring to school. You'll just always have stuff in your locker that you can just if you get your period at school. Now this next tip that I have for you guys is one that I was like kind of touching on earlier, but that is to always have a sweatshirt or a hoodie on you, either in your backpack or in your locker or like somewhere, so that if you get your period and you stain or you're just like self-conscious, like if you wear pads like you think it's sticking out in the back, always make sure you have a sweatshirt or hoodie to tie around your waist, preferably a thick one so that like no one can see or anything. And this isn't just for you, but this is also for like if you have a friend who just gets your period and like stained or like needs help covering it up down there. Make sure to bring a sweatshirt sweatshirt or hoodie along so that not only you can help yourself out, but that so if someone else needs it, then you can help them out. Just make sure to like always be prepared for not just yourself, but for others. That's like just a general good rule to have for yourself in life, because honestly, I would be so grateful if I like stained at school and then I like didn't have a hoodie or sweatshirt to cover it up. If someone like came up to me, or like I had a friend who had one and then I could just like use it. Honestly, just helping others out makes me so happy. That's why I make these videos. And so that's why I'm trying to help you guys feel good by helping others, by telling you that by bringing a sweatshirt or hoodie to school with you and hanging it like in your locker or putting it in your backpack at all times, that way you can not only ensure that you will be able to cover yourself up if you stain at school or like get your period at school, but you will also be able to help another person if they stain on something or if they get their period at school. This next tip is one that I literally just thought of and that like I feel like has never been said before, and I honestly think it's like pretty genius in my opinion. So since having a period, like literally gushing blood out of your body for a week, usually isn't enough for gym coaches to let you sit out during physical education class. If you don't want to participate because you're on your period, like if you don't want to participate in gym, wear a fake bandage that looks like it's covering a fake wound, preferably on your leg or somewhere where you like shouldn't move it, because they probably won't ask you to like take the bandage off to see if there's like actually a cut, but make sure it's like this size of a bandage. And like if you have to play, for example, volleyball, then put it on your arm, or if you have to play like soccer or like run a mile at school or something like that, and you can just put that bandage wherever you want to and literally show it to them and say, I didn't have time to get a doctor's note because I literally just fell and like cut myself really badly here like yesterday. This tip is pretty good if you want to avoid participation in PE when you're gushing blood out of your body. This next tip should really help anyone out there who's like really self-conscious about how loud pads are when you like open them and then take it off your underwear and like put it on. Pads are just made to be like so loud, like you're opening a bag of like potato chips in a bathroom. It's so embarrassing, and so I have a tip that will get rid of that noise. Wear 2 or even 3 or 4 pads stacked on top of each other, each one right on top of each other before you go to school, so that you don't have to rip open a new pad when you're at school, which is so loud. And this way, when you have to change your pad at school, you just go to the bathroom, take off the stained one on top of the other pads that you have underneath, and then you don't have to like open the package and deal with all that loud noise that like you have to deal with when you have a period at school and you have to like open it in a public bathroom and it's like so loud. Just stack around 3 to 4 pads on top of each other, depending on like how often you change it and how long you have to be at school. And then when you change the pad, just rip off the one on top, and then there will be the clean ones on the bottom, and just keep doing this, and eventually you will only have 1 pad left, and then you can go home and change it and not have to worry about the noise anymore. Now this next tip that I'm gonna tell you guys is one that I honestly relate to so much, like the worry behind this tip. If you're worried about like having to go in the middle of class to the bathroom to change your pad or tampon, and you don't want to like show the pad or tampon to your class as you're like walking with it to the bathroom, this tip should really help like hide that pad or tampon, even though you shouldn't be embarrassed about holding one, because periods are so natural. I hate that there's a stigma around periods, and that's why with my period videos I really want to help like remove that stigma. But for now, while periods are still considered like embarrassing, weirdly enough, then you can slip that pad or tampon in the waistband of your pants and use that hoodie or sweatshirt that we talked about earlier to like cover the bulge of the pad or tampon like in your pants, like in the waistband of your pants. Or if it's a pad or tampon, put it up your sleeve, like if you're wearing long sleeves. Or if it's a tampon and it can fit into like a boot or a shoe, put it in that boot or shoe. Just like hide it anywhere that you can think of that's like creative. Those are some ideas. My next tip that I have for you guys is whenever you're on a break, like passing period, lunch, etc., then go stretch, and don't waste that time just walking around on your feet. Stretching helps cramps, back pain, and period pain in general, because like your uterus tenses up and like contracts when you're on your period and you're like having cramps. You can even like try stretching in your chair, like when you're in your desk chair, just like kind of circle like your uterus and like your stomach and hips around. It should really help like relieve that tension near there and relieve that tension in your back that like you get, and just that sore pain that you get when you have a period. Just when you're on a break, or like when you don't have to like actually concentrate in class, just try to stretch without anyone noticing. You can even like go to the bathroom if no one's in there and just like do some arm stretches, do some leg stretches, like bend over and touch your toes so that your back can be stretched. Just do some stretching, because honestly I found that stretching when I'm on my period and I'm having like period pains, it really helps me. So yeah, that is a big tip that you guys should take as a tip from this video, to go stretch whenever you are on a break or even in class. And the last back to school period tip that I have for you guys for this video is, if you are caught unprepared, like you're at school, you just got your period, there's no period kit in your locker, there's no pad, there's no type of any period supplies in your backpack, you stained, you don't have like a hoodie or sweatshirt to cover it up with, you are absolutely
doomed.
If that happens, here are some solutions to like solve that problem. Going to the nurse is one, because honestly, I've never had to do it myself, obviously, because I've never like had a period at school, but I've heard that school nurses always have pads or tampons or like period hygiene products of some sort. They have it in their nurse's office. So just go to the nurse's office and say, hey, I'm on my time of the month, or like I just got my period or something. Like, don't be ashamed, because they're literally like a medical professional at the school, literally hired to like help with this sort of thing, and say, could I please have a period hygiene product, preferably insert whatever period product you use, like a pad or a tampon, and they will most likely have it. But some other solutions, if they for some reason don't have it, are these. Wrap toilet paper all around your underwear. Literally, it sounds so basic, but it works. And don't just like fold up a bunch of toilet paper and put it in. You actually have to wrap it around like the crotch of your underwear, because then it won't like fall out and it'll be thicker, and it'll like protect that whole area down there from like leaking or anything like that. Just wrap around 3 layers or even like 4 or 5 layers around the crotch of the underwear, so you can make sure that you don't like leak through your underwear or anything like that. And it should work as like a kind of pad, like a toilet paper pad basically. It should hold out for a little while. Or if you feel comfortable with this, you can always ask a trusted friend who you know also has periods, or like even if you don't know, just go up and ask them, hey, do you have a pad or a tampon? And they will most likely help if they're a nice person, and if they're not a nice person, then if they don't help you with that. I'm planning on bringing extra pads and tampons with me to school, like just in case someone ever needs them, and I'm gonna be like obviously so sweet about that. Like, who would ever be mean if you needed something to help you with something that is like so natural? Just know you can always ask someone for help, and you can always ask someone for a period hygiene product, and if they're a nice person, they will most likely give it to you. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I really hope that through this video I was able to help you feel a little more comfortable going back to school while having a period, because honestly, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who got their period over the pandemic, and now we're kind of all going back to school like in person, most of us, and we're all like,
oh my god, how am I gonna manage gushing blood out of my body while I'm like at school all day?
And so I really hope that I was able to alleviate some of that fear through this video. Comment down below if this video helped you, and like what tip that you heard in this video was the most surprising to you, or like the one that you're going to use the most. Before you leave, please like this video, and if you made it to the end of this video, comment down below, school and periods do not mix, because honestly they really don't. Like sitting in a classroom in like a school all day and like actually having to socialize while you're like gushing blood out of your body and like going through cramps and back pain and just period pain and all the annoying period symptoms in general, it really just doesn't mix. So I think that these videos are just so helpful to people out there who like need to kind of make them mix, if you know what I'm saying. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more period related content, back to school videos, teen lifestyle videos. I've actually already done a couple back to school videos on my channel, and I will link those down below, along with some other period related videos that I think you might like, because if you like this video and if you want more period advice and like period relatability and all of that, then I have so many other period videos, and I will link all of those down below for you to check out. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it, and I love you guys. Bye.